see it. The idea that they just come on call, is a it's unusual. It's unusual that you would find. Maybe in a poltergeist case, at the very peak of a poltergeist case, you may be able to get there when the objects are still flying around. But then, I don't know anybody who's ever caught, and this is very interesting. And I talked to Dr. William Roll, who's probably academically the most astute person on the poltergeist phenomena. He agreed with me that you see the object in the air, you see the object land, but no matter how many cameras you have going, you never see it take off. Now that's a mystery in itself.
Yeah. All right, we have this question here. Michael wants to know, do you believe that the Tower of Babel was an astral stargate?
That's interesting. We're going into prehistory now. One of my other passions. That's very interesting. It could well have been. I mean, certainly, who of us can, offer proof and say for certain? But I think it could very well have been that.
That goes on to another type of prehistory. What do you think about the idea that people say, they have the spirit of Pocahontas, or maybe King Arthur, or maybe King Tut? I mean, is it possible that these dead people have projected their spirits into the future, or they never die, or they're still around and people can access them if they call them or something?
That's one of those, a dream is a wish your heart makes kind of statements, that, sure, it is possible. I think it is possible that you can get in touch with the essence of a figure, with the vibration of the figure. By that I mean historical figure. I should be putting in the adjective there.
Yeah.
I think that's possible.
Yeah.
People who, I have met probably at least 36 Nefertitis in my lifetime. And okay, maybe it's a possibility. Maybe like Edison said, the great inventor.
Yeah.
He thought the soul was like a swarm of bees, and when one passed away, this huge swarm of little bits and souls like bees went flying off. So, maybe they could be different incarnations. But I think it is possible when you go into like the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid. I think it is possible to get in touch, and we call that psychometry, as you know, reading the past, picking up vibrations. I think it's possible. I had numerous experiences in the East and in the Mideast that certainly, whether imagination or not, or whether I could demonstrate them all, I wasn't particularly interested, but at least I received insight. And then one can argue, if you have any profound experience, if you have any peak experience, if you have any intense mystical experience, you do gain from it, and you do become a more complete human being.
Carl wants to know, how can we get you on an unsubstantiated tangent? He says you're too level for this. Do you ever get?
I'm sorry.
One of the viewers says you're straight across the board on this. That nothing varies too wildly in any direction. So what's it going to take to get you to make speculation and conjecture to what you may say outside of your website and outside of your books? I mean, do you ever come up with something and hypothesize, and have you found out things that are so far out that you would lose credibility if you talked about them? If so, is there anything you can say right now about like that?
It's all in the books. It's all in the books. The speculations, the theories, I put them all down, and it's up to the people. It's up to the people to evaluate This person, if you understand it, if I understood, thinks I'm not making wild enough statements. He has to understand that some people think I am off the charts. I mean, it just depends. It depends on your point of view. It depends on your perspective, you know.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. You said, I thought you briefly said in the first hour that something about outer body experiences. Did you check out of your body before?
Well, yes, at age 11, I had a near-death experience.
Yeah. Okay,
which probably altered my life.
Okay, and, so did you die, or was it, how close to death was it? Was it an actual death, or just close to death and you had some things happen to you that way?
That's always the big argument, isn't it? Mm-hmm. When I first started writing, we called that pseudo-death experiences, false death experiences, where you appeared to die. Now, I just lost his name. I see him. The doctor who wrote the big book and gave us near-death experience. Oh, darn. And anyway, near-death experience has become the term that we use now. Mm-hmm. So, yes, the word had gone out, the word had reached that I had died. Well, obviously, I didn't actually die because I'm talking to you now. I am not a spirit. Right. I am in a corporeal body. So, but what occurred to me then when I was out of my body, and the experiences, of course, are those that one absolutely never, ever forgets. It's instant and as memorable and as profound as what had happened to me when I was 11 years old. As far as astral travel, that seems to be something that I guess I've always been able to do, but do less now because I'm too busy.
Well, there's always the question, if you leave your body, how do you know you can make it back to the right body? What if they took your body while you were out of it and buried it? Would you be able to go down into the grave and then dig your way out, or what?
Once again, didn't you ever go to Sunday school? Before you go out of the body, you say your prayers, you ask for protection, you ask for your guardian, you ask for your guide to be with you. If you're just going to pop out, that could happen to you.
Yeah. We have this question from Richard. He wants to know, why does it seem that ghosts always have their clothes on? Do they know the dress, or what?
That is probably the most asked question that I have received in the 60-some years I've been researching this. Why do ghosts have their clothes on? Because that's the way we expect to see them. That's the way the image that they have and they have of themselves is clothed. Because again, now I've had a number of reports, and some of them from, very astute individuals, some of them from medical doctors, who said that when they first projected, they were naked, and then all of a sudden they thought, whoop, I better be clothed. That's the way in our culture we perceive one another. That's why if you've buried a dear one lately, you didn't put him in the coffin naked. I mean, we clothe them. We see our image of ourselves includes our clothing and the image we think that. That's why when people go out to graveyards, and we're going to go some ghost busting, ghost hunting in a graveyard, I say, why in a graveyard? Why would anyone hang around a graveyard? Nothing's happening there. You're just going to sit among the stones. The ghosts are seeing the places they love, the places they participated, the places that meant something to them when they are alive. So that image of when they're alive certainly retains their clothing, unless they were nudists. Maybe then you're going to see them.
Well, I don't think people really want to see a naked ghost. Hey, we have this from Peter.
No.
We have this question, Brad, for you. Peter from Australia says he has seen a light blue ghost walking across the street at night for a split second. Is there any significance to the blue color?
Man,